Alright, RPG A Day 2022. This is August 21st. Getting these recorded early because I have a lot to do chore-wise and preparation for the local Symborum sessions. So a lot to get done. So I'm trying to getting these recorded while I can. But it is August 21st. It is the system or setting Sunday. And this one is share an intriguing detail from the game setting you enjoy. So the game setting I enjoy, and so I've been talking about it a lot lately, and I'm doing a lot of research and a lot of prep for it. I'm going to talk about Symborum again, not to bore everybody with Symborum, but since this is what I am preparing and focused on, there will be two I talk about. One will be in a way somewhat professionally indulgent because it is a piece of our game, Dark Age of Man. The other is a setting detail of Symborum, which is the Explorer's License. Characters are required to carry an individual license or have a group license to actually adventure into the Forest of Dakovar. It is a clever way of making sure players are at least getting enough treasure in a way to maintain some legality in their adventures into Light Dakovar. This won't help them necessarily with the Iron Pact, as the Iron Pact see this as a treaty violation, but it will certainly aid them when they run into Rangers. Queen's Rangers, basically like police officers, to pull them over and say, do you have a license to be here and to do this thing you're doing? Further, the size of your group depends on the cost of the license. An individual license will work for one. However, 5 players, all with individual licenses, will not necessarily save them from fines. So if you're traveling with a group of 5, you need to have a group license. So this is a very neat thing for me. It's very cool. It's this idea that civilization and the administration of this so-called, people say, oh, that's ridiculous. Not when you think about the nature of the Ambrians. The Ambrians are an imperialistic culture that has basically moved into these lands as immigrants, and they are about administration and order and law. And of course they're going to have some thing like this. But at the same time, even more important is you have to buy add-ons for the size of your group if you're doing certain things like gathering herbs, berries, firewood, etc., harvesting, exploring. So for instance, if you have 3 people in your group and they all have they pay their 10 thaler for a 3-person group license. Thalers are like gold coins. And you're going to be exploring the Dakovar, you need to have an add-on 5 per character. So we have a 3-man group. They paid their 10 for their group, but then they're going to be exploring. That's another 15, 1 per person. And let's say they're going to be gathering firewood, for instance, and they may have wagons. They may be incompetent. They may have to pay for intentions or other. These are fines, and these are things they can add on for their... So you could conceivably head off into the Dakovar without these things. But if you are ultimately run into a ranger, right, the party may find themselves fined for all of these things, which is that's an intriguing piece of the setting, where the idea that you are going into this very dark, very dangerous wood that is ultimately patrolled by the Iron Pact, right, that will kill you, wants to kill you on sight to protect the Dakovar at any means necessary, plus the monsters and the mysteries. And the deeper and the farther you go into the Dakovar, the more dangerous and deadly it gets. It's on top of that, you've got this culture that thinks they can legislate, right, your right to go camping, so to speak. It's very intriguing to me. This shows that these guys didn't just take for granted, oh, by the way, this is D&D, you stay in a tavern and you pack up and you go out and you come back. So it's kind of a neat way of making sure they're also carrying thalers, or they could potentially be fined, and there's a reason they're going to want to earn some treasure from these trips. So it's a very clever tool. I will also mention in our setting, it's actually more of a mechanic than a feature setting, but I guess it is a piece of the setting. It's a mechanic, but it is a huge part of the setting, and that is our repute / prestige, right? It's the repute kind of tells you the weight of your character and all the characters in the world, they're in a way how popular or how well known or how heroic or how infamous the character may be, but also coupled with prestige, whether you are a baron or an alderman or a high bishop or leader of a church, or whatever the case may be, right? So that's one of the things that I really like about our Dark Age of Man game is it places your person, your character, kind of in perspective to the rest of the world, which is a neat part of our setting. However, that is all I have to say about that. And again, by picking one or two here, it's not to slight any other amazing, intriguing pieces of other settings. But that is where my mind's at of late. So, thank you. August 21, RPG A Day 2022. It has been great fun this year to be able to get this far. And we're in the home stretch now, next couple of weeks, and I will be able to finish my first RPG A Day since, I believe, 2016. I think was I might have finished 2017. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I did finish 2017. So anyway, that's a pretty big hole there in my attempts at completing an RPG a day. So everybody out there, have a fantastic remainder of your weekend and have a wonderful upcoming week. Thank you.